Well, today we're going to continue on our progress of our trailer, and I think what I'm going to do today is start on probably some valance over top of the windows so I can hang some curtains down, and I'm just going to do it with some 1/2-inch plywood, make a probably a square box, be able to put a wood dowel inside, hang the curtains down, and try my hand at some sewing. And so I've got 4 windows to cover. 3 of them I figured out, and the front window, because it's on an angle, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to secure the bottom, whether I'll have a dowel at the bottom, a spring, or some type of rope or Velcro or something to keep the curtains at that little bit of an angle. And Friday night I had the trailer hooked to the truck and took it down and weighed it. So, as I suspected, the trailer connected to the truck has about 1,500 pounds over the axle. So I was pretty close. I was guessing about 12 to 1,500 pounds, and I was right at 1,500 pounds. And probably a little bit less than that now that I dropped the heavy-duty wheels off the trailer. I unbolted those this morning, and those got to be another 40 pounds. So I lightened that up a little bit, and I put all the cushions and tables and everything in, and microwave and refrigerator to simulate what it would be like in a dry weight situation, and weighed it. So I'm comfortable with that. That's about where I figured it would be. So let me give you a shot of everything set up in here, and then we'll get ready to make our curtains, our valances over our windows. So I have the rear cushions setting in place. I removed the table so I can move around back here to start working on the valance, but I think what we'll do is we're just going to install a 4-sided box, the sides, top, face, and then underneath I'll make a piece of wood with a little angled notch that a wooden dowel can just slide in and drop down inside, so the curtains are hanging down and holding everything in place. I think that's a route I'm going to take. I got some quilting batting that I'll be using over top of the wood before I put the material on, and I'm going to use the same material here on the valance as I did on the cushions. And then I'm going to go with probably a dark navy curtains, and I think that would look pretty good in here. I do want a little privacy when I close things up, so I think that'll look good. So here is the front. The table is set up, cushions are in place, microwave and fridge are setting in place. Nothing is wired yet, so if I plug them in they'll be operational, but currently I don't have that set up. And there we are. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? Yeah, that looks really nice. Awesome. Okay, so I have one valance that I'm going to make across here, one that I'm going to make here, and one that I'll make here, and I will make the one on the front, and then I've got to figure out some way to have the curtains so they keep that at that angle, because if I just hang them straight down they'll hang about 4 or 5 inches away from the wall, and that would look silly. So not sure which direction I'll take on the front window yet. I'll worry about that when I get to that point. Okay, let's get to building some boxes. I'm not worried about the glue on the outside here. All this is going to get covered with material, so not so much worried about being careful there. Now we'll shoot some staples in it and work on the corner pieces. Now we'll just work on some little square end pieces, and then we're ready to cover that one. Okay, so here are the two boxes for the rear windows, and we'll just go set them up there real quick and see what it looks like in place, and whether I have enough room. So this should give you an idea of what it's going to look like up there. You guys know what a valance looks like, but we'll have it situated about sort of like that, and the curtain will be hanging underneath, be able to slide open and closed, and then we'll attach it right to the top shelf here, and we'll call that good. Once it's upholstered, that should look pretty neat. Okay, well, next step is to get this one cut, and I'll go ahead and get this one cut, and then we will get them covered, and then we'll worry about how we're going to hang the dowels inside. Alright, one step at a time. Okay, so we've got the valances made. They're all covered. I put some trim on them, and I've actually installed them. So I didn't video the covering the valance. I'm no upholstery guy, so it is what it is. And at any rate, let me show you what I've got done, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next, and we'll move on. Stay tuned. So here are the valances installed, front and back, and it's just a simple thing. I've got a little wooden dowel that I'll hang my curtain on, and it'll come down to the top of the cushion right there, and the front one's installed. And of course I didn't install it on the bottom of the shelf like I did the back ones, but I used a piece of aluminum. I had an aluminum bracket that I put on the walls, just an L bracket, drilled some holes, put that up there, and screwed it down in place. And I've got a wooden dowel up in here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little track that I made that it'll go in and out of, and once the curtains are in, I don't plan on taking them out very often unless to wash them. So for the front, there's a company called Sailrite. They make a curtain track for top and bottom, mainly for sailboats and such like that. So there's a aluminum track that goes on here. You sew a snap banding on your curtains, and they just slide in the track, so they'll just slide back and forth. So I'm not going to have a valance on the front, but the windows will be covered, and it'll look pretty nice. So here is cushions, table installed, and valance on. I think it's turning out well. Nice. Alright, so my next step, I'm going to run to the store, and I'm going to buy me a sewing machine, just a cheapie, and some curtains that I'll cut up and trim and hem, and be able to make my double parting curtains front and back, and take my hand at that. I can sew just a little bit, so that ought to be fun, but it'll look nice when it's all said and done, and it'll be just right for me. So I'm looking forward to that. That's my next step, is to make the curtains. So a little bit of an update. I purchased two 100-watt solar panels. They're semi-flexible, and they'll go on the ceiling. Those are made by Valances. I also purchased two 6-volt batteries with about 205 amp hours each, and I'll wire those in series, so I'll have 12 volts, still 205 volts amp hours. And I've also got fittings and other little doodads that are going to go along with the solar power, solar controller, batteries, shut-off switches, fuses, and all the good stuff. I also ordered some nice little aluminum puck lights that were going to go under the counter, and I'll put probably 4 on the front, and I'll put 4 under the back, and I'll put 3 under this shelf right here. On this side, I bought an 8-gang switch panel, which I'll wire everything in switches, and so I'll be able to turn the lights on and off as I come in the door. So still a lot left to do, but we're so close now. And then I think once all the electricity is in and solar power is run, then we'll tackle the sink and water supply. So I think by the time it's all said and done, it's a good thing that I made all this storage, because I'm slowly running out of storage space. Some water tanks will go in the back here. Batteries are going to go up in the front for the solar power. I'll still have a little bit of storage space left. I'll still have storage space above in this wardrobe, in that side of the cabinet, and it's almost becoming home-like. And once the cushions are in and tables and everything are in, it sure does quiet down in here, especially when the doors close. So it does give a nice, warm, cozy feeling, and I like that. So you don't get all that tinny sounding, I don't even know what you call it, just noise, I guess. It's very quiet. Okay, well, we'll cut that video short. So there's the progress so far, and stay tuned, because we're going to be installing some electric stuff next weekend, and get underway with that. So with that, thank you for watching. Appreciate all the comments and all the people who watch the videos and email me and ask questions and stuff. That really means a lot. So I hope I help some people along the way. And with that, just like I said, you got a project in mind, don't wait, just do it. Just jump in and do it. Get your feet wet, buy some supplies. You don't have to have everything done right now. You do it over a period of time, but stay at it and do it. And who knows, you could have one of these sitting in your driveway.